We just saw the SpongeBob movie, and on this show I take my friends, we go see a movie, we review it in the car, and then we have a discussion. The review part is spoiler-free, so if you're on the fence or you're looking for a recommendation, you can watch that without spoilers and find out whether we recommend it. If you've already seen the movie or don't care about spoilers and just want to know everything we thought, watch the discussion, and we'll get into more of that after the break. So, SpongeBob, the movie, Sponge Out of Water, the second SpongeBob movie, and long after the first one. Okay. It's the most, interesting thing about this is that the trailer completely misrepresents what the movie is. It's an 82-minute movie, 17 minutes of it are in 3D. The rest of it is just like the show. It's in 2D. They have a couple of different art styles that they use, which is something the show also does from time to time. But really, what it comes down to is if you saw the trailer and thought, I don't want to see a 3D SpongeBob movie, this isn't a 3D SpongeBob movie. It's a 82-minute SpongeBob movie with a 17-minute 3D sequence that is just fine. The problem with the trailer, beyond what it makes you think the movie's going to be, is that sequence is so spoiled by the trailer that all of the jokes are basically out in the trailer, and so that sequence kind of falls flat, and it's near the end of the movie, so it's sort of, you finally get to that point and you're expecting more from it, and there's not really that much to it beyond what's in the trailer. Having said that, I mean, kids will certainly like it. If you're a fan of the SpongeBob TV show, you'll like the movie. It's just fine. For me, I've seen the trailer so many times, because I see so many movies, that it was really hard that the movie was really strong, and then for me it got to the three-dimensional part and it was like, this is great, and I really would have enjoyed this if I had not seen any of this before, if I hadn't seen all these jokes and these things that go on in it before. Has the same semi-crude sense of humor that the show does, but again, if you're familiar with the show and you've been watching it for the last 15 years or however long it's been on, it lives up to that. It's the #1 movie at the box office this weekend, but it came out with a couple of bombs, and it's also the only kids movie, so it's definitely a worthwhile movie to take your kids to. And if you grew up on SpongeBob or you're just a huge SpongeBob fan, even if you're not a kid, I would say I would recommend it. So what did you think?
The only SpongeBob I had ever seen prior to this was the first SpongeBob movie.
Okay.
I had never seen an episode of the show or anything.
You don't have kids.
Watched the trailer, and the trailer was like, why are they doing this? It's gimmicky, it's going to be terrible. And it wasn't at all. Like you said, the trailer misrepresented it horribly, and even the posters, they zoom in on the 3D aspect of it, and that's such a small part of the film, which actually works to the movie's benefit. But going into it not really knowing anything about SpongeBob, I was kind of blown away by the fact that some of the jokes were so crude and very risque.
That's a common complaint people make about the TV show. I get what you're saying. It's just, if you're familiar with the show, those jokes exist. And
I loved it, and of course the kids missed out on 90% of what I found funny about it, but it was actually enjoyable. It was quite enjoyable, and the good part of the movie was what led up to the 3D section. The 3D section, like you said, the trailer. If you watched the trailer, you saw the 3D section of the movie.
Yeah, you really have.
Outside of a little bit here and there. But it was good. It was good. I was shocked. I expected it to be better than the other movie we watched, but it was surprisingly, it exceeded my expectations.
Yeah, mine too, for sure. So we recommend it. If you want to go see it and you don't want to hear about spoilers, this is the time to tune out. If you're going to take your kids to it and you want to know more about what we thought, as far as, you know, plot points or spoilers or things like that, you know, maybe you want to watch more. But otherwise, don't let us ruin the movie. We're going to talk about anything and everything now. So, yeah, that 3D section, we got to a point where I was like, is it going to be the second and third act? And then it was like, well, no, is it going to be just the third act? And then it basically was most of the third act. About 2/3 or so of the third act. 17 minutes. And there was like another 3 or 4 at the end that were back in 2D again, before they went back to Antonio Banderas for the very end of the movie, the live action section. And Antonio Banderas being in the movie, like, I think they used him really well in that he's the narrator of the story, he's telling the story, and then they use the book as the magic that, you know, lets them kind of defy the laws of SpongeBob for a little while.
It was very, very never-ending story-ish.
Yes. So I think that really worked well, and it wasn't just an entire movie of SpongeBob versus Antonio Banderas. They weren't even really aware of him until they get to the land, basically, until they get to the 3D animated part. And we keep saying the 3D part. The movie's actually, you can go and see it in 3D. You can see it in IMAX 3D, I think. What I'm talking about, though, is the part that they show in the trailer, which is them interacting with live action people and they're 3D animated in that section. And then they become superheroes because they can do whatever they want with this book. So, yeah, it's a solid movie. I mean, we were laughing at it. We were having a good time. The kids in the theater were having a good time. Certainly, it was the most populated show we've seen this week.
Yeah. I was actually shocked. For a good chunk of the movie, you didn't hear the kids laughing near as much as the parents. And
yeah.
I think that has to do with some of the humor used was quite risque. They made jokes about things dying. You know, kids aren't going to find that funny. Kids are going to be like, right over their head.
Yes.
It was so much fun. I was actually shocked by how much fun it was. The 3D thing, and again, the computer animated part, I should say, I was really worried that was going to be the entirety of the movie. Like they were gonna figure out that it was going to the surface, and they would go to the surface, and then they spend all the time on the surface. They'd probably befriend a human that would help them out. And I was like, oh God, it's going to be a cliche movie. And it wasn't. The big, meaty part of the movie took place in Bikini Bottom, which was a great strength of the movie. The characters, all the characters, even bit characters, got a lot of use.
Yeah.
And it made me want to watch SpongeBob Fury Road. Because the post-apocalyptic stuff was hilarious.
SpongeBob Fury Road.
I would watch it.
I think we just did.
Kinda, yeah. It was good. It was good. I can't really say there's much to spoil in this movie because the story is kind of paper thin, and you pick up everything that you need to know about the story from the trailer.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting that they focused in on two characters. Like, everybody kind of became secondary to SpongeBob and Plankton. I thought Plankton was an inspired choice.
Mm-hmm.
Because out of all the characters I saw them focusing in on, he wasn't it at all. I figured Squidward and SpongeBob, or SpongeBob and Patrick.
Yeah.
I thought that was really well done, and they didn't beat us over the head too much with Pirate Antonio Banderas. He was used quite sparingly.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I agree.
I was shocked.
I agree. It was good. So that's SpongeBob, Sponge Out of Water. If you enjoy the way we do these, please like the video, subscribe, check out all the written and video reviews at dalemaxfield.com. And thanks for watching.